RTE and the mainstream media are running scared over yesterday's stabbing in Capel Street. We have a brand new RTE article. It says, concerning misinformation spread online following an attack on a Gardai. So for those who don't know, yesterday a Gardai was attacked around 6 p.m. broad daylight as people were walking and going home through Dublin. Okay, it says the Capel Street was cordoned off by the Gardai. And of course, guys, it was a probational Gardai which was attacked. A Gardai maybe being on the job for 5, 10, 15 years, they would know what to do. This guy was just standing around doing nothing on the beat, and a random crazed lunatic from God knows where, we'll get to that in a second, approaches him and stabs him. Now, not for nothing, guys, you know, on my channel, like I said before, I don't really care about race too much, you know, but I do care about illegal people in the country, okay? And if you're illegally here and you're claiming welfare from the state and you're not giving back to the country that took you in, and you're not helping raise the culture, raise the heritage of the country, you're some illegal EU, UN, you know, human trafficking ring member, then, you know, it's not going to be good for you guys in this country to go around stabbing people and attacking people, you know, plain and simple. It says here, a man in his 20s who is an Irish citizen and born in Ireland remains in custody after he was arrested in connection with the incident on Capel Street in the city centre, shortly after 6 p.m. Okay, now, I didn't catch his name. Maybe they give his name here. I'm not sure. Do they give his name? No, they don't give his name, though, which is an odd one. Because if they knew who he was, they would immediately reveal all the information. This is what the mainstream media does, guys. They gaslight us. I mean, this is like the ultimate gaslighting by the mainstream media. That's why the mainstream media is dead. That's why nobody watches RTE, News Talk, Joe.ie, Virgin Media. These are corrupt media platforms used to brainwash the Irish public. Now, secondly, guys, you know, the guy clearly in the video he looked to me like a Roma gypsy. And not that certain people commit certain crimes. You know, when we think of like white people, we think, okay, they, you know, some touch kids, you know, that's a big crime that white people do. When we think of stabbings, I think of like Roma gypsy people. You know, when you think of these different crimes, guys, you do immediately sort of have these biases, this sort of prejudice in your own mind, what certain people do. People are saying one thing, the government is saying another thing. I said what I said yesterday. God knows who this guy is. They're not revealing his name. They're not revealing a picture of the guy. When there was that shooter, the white guy, the white kid, 22-year-old man who shot up the shopping center in, of course, Carlow, in Fairgreen in Carlow a few months ago, within 10 minutes, 5 minutes, they knew who he was. They knew who his flippin' pet dog was. They knew what he had for breakfast. You know what I mean? They knew everything about this guy. They knew his flipping internet history. But all of a sudden, when it's some of these guys that are like, whatever, you know, not from Ireland, let's say ethnically, or whatever, guys, you know, illegal, whatever, what have you guys, you know, regular Irish citizens. And I'm not saying, you know, you have to be Irish citizen, this kind of thing, but there is an ethnicity thing. Of course, there's a little bit of that going on here as well, which people are pissed off about. It says the Gardai was on a high visibility patrol and was attacked and stabbed in what the Gardai say was an unprovoked attack. He was taken to the hospital for treatment and later discharged. Speaking to RTE's Morning Ireland Assistant Garda Commissioner for the Dublin Metropolitan Region, Paul Cleary, said there was a lot of misinformation on the internet circulating online. Now, they're not going to tell us on RT how they're going to make Dublin safer, increase policing, you know, increase visibility, give the Gardai some armed response units. So if this crazy guy with a knife starts running around again trying to attack kids or women, then they can shoot him dead. They don't tell us any of that, guys, how they're going to protect us. Okay, because that's what protects us. Big, strong, big men, not women and children, big men with guns. That's who's going to protect us in Ireland. I think a lot of people in Ireland, you know, we're a little bit innocent here because, you know, a lot of people here, we don't see crime like that. We see crime in the UK and the US as like this foreign crime. Oh, that can never happen here. That could never happen in Ireland, when it is clearly happening this year. This year has been an eye-opening year. There's stabbings every week. It has gone absolutely insane, guys. You are not going to fight a guy with a knife. Plain and simple, excuse me. You're not going to fight a guy with a knife. Even if you're Conor McGregor UFC fighter and a guy runs at you with a knife, it's going to be a long day. You do not want to be dealing with these issues, guys. You need men with guns to protect us in this country, and we do not have that. We do not have that on a large scale. Now, obviously, guys, there's security concerns as well. You know, having every Gardaí having a gun like in the US and stuff is a bit crazy, because then they can use it on us, the Irish citizens. So there's a kind of catch-22 there. You know, we're here for your safety, when in reality, they'll probably just be shooting more Irish people, you know, honestly, rather than crazy, you know, migrants with knives, okay? Absolutely crazy. So they're scared about that, guys. You know, they're scared about the misinformation that's being circulated online. I mean, we see the video clearly. What misinformation is there? We're watching the video. I showed the video on YouTube yesterday. These people are running scared, guys. I mean, it's absolutely hilarious. And they're watching these kind of videos. They're watching my video. They're watching all the other videos on Instagram. And it's hilarious. It says, we have some people with their own agenda trying to use the incidents like this to inflame situations to their own ends. I'm not trying to inflame anything. Absolutely not, guys. Okay, no way. I'm just reporting on the news from what I see and from what other people say. There is very inaccurate information and disinformation that went out online after this incident very quickly, adding that Gardai would say to people to make sure they get their information from credible media sources. I love that, guys. What credible media sources are there? RTE, News Talk, Virgin Media. These are not credible news sources. They lie to us repeatedly. They're just trying to push a narrative, guys. They're trying to push their narrative on us. They are not credible news sources. What is credible news sources? X. And videos that we see with our own eyes. Some random guy just recorded the attack and stabbing on Capel Street yesterday. How more credible of a media source can that be? It's a primary media source. Ridiculous, guys. Mr. Cleary said, senior investigating officer is crucial in the addition to gathering evidence that we bring to justice. We also want to understand the motive behind the attack. We want to understand the motive behind it, the motivation behind the attack. I'll tell you what the motivation is. The guy is pissed off. He's alienated. He's disenfranchised from the community because he's not from Ireland. That's why these guys, gypsies, Roma, Bulgarian, people from war-torn countries, these sleeper cells, they're pouring into Ireland, and then they're just waiting for a chance to attack people. And if they don't get that chance and they're of moral high standard, then they attack the police because they want to get shot by the police. But they're so stupid, they don't understand the police in Ireland don't have weapons. So it's ridiculous, guys. Every Gardaí going out on duty every day is aware of the potential risks. Okay, of course, you can die every day. Okay, every single day as a Gardaí, you can die, guys. Horrendous stuff. I mean, those guys have a hard job, you know, but you know, that being said, guys, it seems like there's a lot of abuse of power recently as well. People are pissed off with the abuse of power. Okay. If for this particular incident, the official issue stab-proof vest did its job. So the stab-proof vest prevented him from getting stabbed in the heart, the liver, the lungs. You would have died immediately. You know, I'm not a Navy SEAL, guys. I'm not a Navy SEAL, Irish Army Ranger. I'm not Special Forces. I'm not an operator. But I'll tell you this. Ireland has a very real national security threat, okay? And everyone says, oh, Chris, you sound American. We have a massive national security threat, guys. Like, there are people pouring in. We don't do background checks. They don't have passports. They could be flipping ISIS. They could be Al-Qaeda. I don't think Al-Qaeda is around anymore, but they could be from anywhere. I mean, it's just ridiculous, guys. Does anyone know who these people are? Some people could be good people. You know, they could become great. They become billionaires and help give back to the Irish people. They come in here, they're just looking for the opportunity. You know, like when we went to America, you know, back in the flipping day, Irish people were hardworking. We were just looking for that opportunity. You know, loads of people went to the US when we made the country great. But do we think that's actually going to happen in Ireland? Hundreds of thousands of foreign people from these places coming in to stay in a little hotel together, 100, 200 deep. Do we think that's actually going to happen? Or do we think that they're going to rebel at some stage? I mean, we are sitting ducks, guys. We are a sitting duck. Nobody in the country owns weapons. Like, it's illegal to own stuff. I think people own shotguns, but your daddy's shotgun, you know, that everyone owns. I'm from the countryside. Your little daddy's shotgun isn't going to defend yourself from anything, guys. You know what I mean? Like, It's just crazy. We are sitting ducks in Ireland, guys. Like, we are so vulnerable, you know. And if you say that you're neutral, you're a bitch. Okay, there's no neutrality in this world. Back in the day, when people would say we're neutral to the Vikings, they would come in, they would take all the women, and they would kill all the men and children. You know, that's how it would go, guys. That's what's happening right now. You know, they're doing it in other parts of the world. If you guys look to the east, all right. They responding to Gardaí were able to use the equipment made available to them to subdue the suspect immediately and to detain him, and that they went hand in hand with their training. I mean, I'm happy that they do have patrols, high visibility patrols. The place was swarmed with Gardaí in less than a minute, and it shows that the guards were active and visible around the city, and that they're able to assist so quickly. That's good. The response time is good, under a minute. I love that, guys. You know, I was kind of wondering, like, where's the backup? There's 2 guys versus 1 guy with a knife. There should be at least 6 guards, 6 police there with guns ready to flip and lay this guy out if anything happens. Like, I would take a zero approach. If a guy is running around the streets with a knife, I wish that the armed response unit would show up and blast this guy. Yeah, I know a lot of people think that sounds extreme, but watch any video from overseas, guys. That's what they do. They shoot you on sight. If you have a knife, that's it, guys. You know, your freedoms are gone at that point. You know, you don't attack random Gardaí in the street. It's absolutely disgusting. But, you know, it says here that they were able to use their equipment made available to them and subdue him. They were using pepper spray and little batons. The guy had a knife. He could have cut their flipping throat, guys. It's so dangerous. Playing with knives and all this knife play, it's just so dangerous, man. The Gardaí could have got killed very easily. You know, I feel sorry for the police, guys, honestly. A lot of people hate the police. I feel sorry because, you know, they're trying to do a good job. The leadership is terrible. They're issuing, you know, fines for tax and this kind of stuff. They should be protecting us from nutcases like this. You know, absolutely crazy. The next story we have here this is a recent news story from, I believe it's last month. I actually missed it, guys. 11th of the last month. It says, Garda teams established to track threat of far-right groups in Ireland. So now there are dedicated Gardaí surveillance and detective units that have been established to track potentially dangerous far-right groups in Ireland and abroad, okay? I apologize, guys. This stupid flipping light keeps cutting off, and I need to have some light in my face because we won't be getting good lighting. Anyway, I digress. At the Oireachtas Justice Committee on Tuesday, Assistant Commissioner Justin Kelly said far-right networks are a huge concern to Gardaí. Ooh, far-right. Guys, there is no far-right in Ireland. They're barking up the wrong tree. I mean, the far-right cause no issues in this country. I've never heard of one far-right crime in this country. You know what I have heard of crime, though? People with knives running around. People flipping, robbing houses. Little inner city kids running around beating people up, beating up Canadians, beating up tourists, killing tourists. You know, that's what I've heard of, guys. This far-right threat, it just doesn't exist. It's just not even there, guys. It's not there. It's fugazi, it's pixie dust. It doesn't exist, guys, right? Mr. Kelly said, we have an intelligence group here. They do regional network around Ireland, and they're working on a national level, and some of those would have international contracts. Great. All right. So Gardaí have upgraded computer systems to help track groups online and become more familiar with far-right leaders and how they organize. Well, I don't have any organization. I just post videos to the internet every single day, okay? I'm a great patriot. You know, I believe a famous American founder, Thomas Jefferson, said, dissent is the greatest form of patriotism, okay? And what we're doing is just critiquing, guys. We're not trying to cause any riot or anything like that. People get, you know, their sort of wires mixed up with this case. We're just trying to show the people what the hell is going on. You know, nothing bad, nothing illegal, nothing like that at all. This is an information war that we are in with the mainstream media, and we're winning. I'm winning. I'm getting more views, more subscribers. We are winning together, guys. We are winning. The people are winning, guys. 100%. And they're scared. That's why they're setting up these groups. They pay particular attention to anti-immigration protests that have popped up across the country, sometimes turning violent. I would say they're never violent. I've never seen one far-right rally that turned violent, ever, guys. The riots that happened in 2023, there was people of all races in that. So what is it, guys? Are far-right people of all races, or is it just white people that are hating other people? It's bullshit, guys. They know it's bullshit. The information wars that we have are just a travesty. It's completely ridiculous. Mr. Kelly said, we have put considerable investment into ICT, information and communication technology, to help us around online activity. One of the things we've done, we've uplifted the abilities of our regional people to do that. Again, guys, I post to YouTube. There's no other platform that I post to. All you have to do is just go on YouTube, sign in, and you can watch my videos. Like, I don't even think you have to sign in. I don't even think you have to have an account for YouTube to watch my videos. I don't understand. So if there's a protest, for example, in Cork or Galway, we'll be given technology and training to look at that activity ahead of what we're anticipated might be problematic areas. It's just very strange, guys. Of course, they linked the Dublin riots 2023, but it's not going to happen again. That was criminals taking the opportunity to take over, situation that people were pissed off at, guys. Okay. We've also purchased 2 water cannons. We've increased the power of our OC spray, incapacitance spray. They call it incapacitance spray. It's pepper spray. It's OC spray. I don't know. Everything in Ireland, the names, we always name stuff weird, lads. Like, it's like we're trying to be different from overseas, but like, it's the same shit. We're buying it from the UK and from the US. I don't know. I don't understand. We've also introduced commands training for those members. One of the things that very fortunate is the proof of concept for body-worn cameras for Garda divisions. Great. I want to see body-worn cameras, because then, okay, the truth will never be lied upon, guys. They should have been recording from day one. Let me know your thoughts. They're scared. We're winning, guys. Hit the join link underneath the video to become a member. We have 15 members now. We're growing every single day. Much love to everybody who is a member. I will be doing member-only live streams very, very soon. Okay, I'm going to start that this week, hopefully tonight, guys, so stay tuned for that. I love you all. Like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you hopefully very, very soon, guys. Peace.